Let's look at the photo. You say that's me? Okay, check out the name badge. It says Aldrin. Looks like you're right. But notice the helmet. Can you see my face? No. This is a secret I've been keeping for almost half a century. On July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong and I pulled off humanity's first extraterrestrial prank.
What was the scariest moment of the journey?
Scariest? It didn't happen. It could have been scary.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going. Money is a good thing. If you want to buy new things, new rockets, instead of keep doing the same thing over, then it's going to cost more money. And other things need more money too. So having achieved what the president wanted us to do, and then what thousands, millions of people in America, and millions of people around the world. You know, when we toured around the world after we came back, the most fascinating observation was signs that said, we did it. Not just us, not just America, but we, the world, different countries. They felt like they were part of what we were able to do. And that made us feel very good.
Yo, welcome to Sunday Night Yeet. Whoop, whoop. What up? It's your boy Drew. Yeah, I just kind of want to click around. I'll do a little chill stream here tonight. I got the link in the Discord first. We'll see if anybody from there wants to join in. Any of my close peoples. If not, I will put the link in the main chat here in a little bit. That's our intro tonight is Mr. Buzz Aldrin admitting he never went to the moon. So I seen it on Twitter or X, but they ripped it from TikTok. So TikTok is now where, TikTok is now where Instagram was in 2017.
Let's look at the photo. You say that's me? Okay, check out the name badge.
The dude here looks nuts. The channel that it's on, the X page, Tartaria, looks like Land of the Blinded's X page. So shout out to Big Drink T. We got Rich in the house, Capricorny, Uncommon Sense, Tropes, Pandora. Good to see you. We just chilling on a little Sunday night. Do a little chill stream. Click around. I was trying to do this whole stream. I just don't think I have a whole stream in me. Like a prepared, well researched stream. We're gonna do some non-tent tonight. Thanks for being here. I want to see the schizo though that's posting this. Oh yeah, look at it. This whole thing's about Tartaria, this page here. New Tartaria is coming, no doubt. Oh, this proves that Detroit Avenue Bridge in Cleveland proves Tartaria. Here it is. Most of Tartaria look like this. Right here. So these guys could build this. And then it says right here, then the invasion came. We've been under invasion for over 200 years now. So the horse and buggy people that they cry about all the time, none of this could be done by horse and buggy at all. But yet horse and buggy could come in and just take down this entire civilization somehow. Doesn't just make it make sense, please. And tick what tech confirm. Beholder, we are live. Good to see you. ND. I'm getting blind as I get older. NDB. Is it ND8? Good to see you. Good to see you back. Tartaria was an age of peace, tranquility, or technology and tranquility. The true Renaissance. They just romanticize what it was. They don't know what the fuck it was. What if let's say you're right and this civilization came into being and was able to expand an empire around the globe and build these miraculous buildings and all this and that. Well, how do you think they got there? You think they got there through peace? Or you think they had to slaughter all the libtards of the time? Probably was massive bloodshed. If you really believe that's what happened. Bill Gates, the number one scary poster boy for these truthers. I was watching IPS earlier. Is this the same one that he was playing? I'm not sure. Maybe not. Maybe this is a different one. Opening ceremony of the Osaka Expo. I don't know what that is. It's so symbolic anyone can see it. Well, everyone's still rolling in here. I'm just going to click on this page just for a minute. I do have some other links up and some other things that I did want to talk about. Beholder says, we only have a few clues about Tartaria. Not enough to know what. Well, nothing happened. It just people got dumb. It wasn't like different people. It wasn't like different technology. Just skilled craftsmen and way more time on their hands. None of the ridiculous like government, regulations. These people were fucking 400 guys on a job site working 18 hours a day and shit, You can't do that nowadays anymore. But I want to see what this shit is. Osaka Expo. It's a ritual, man. Donut said. Looks like a damn 3M VHS cover, blank VHS cover from the 90s. It's a ritual, bro. EBT says, but it's Saturday, though. Gotcha, bitch. Not where I'm at. It's not. I'm in the future, dog. Not sure what the ritual is that day. I don't get it. They come out looking like the comic book Bone, or what's the ritual here? It's symbolic, bro. This proves they're gonna kill you all. It's an eye, bro. Like, how is this any different than the skibidi toilet fucking brain rot shit for children right here? This is no different. It's just the shit for the adults that watch it and don't think anything of it, and then also for the truthers that watch it and like read into it like, oh, bro, it's a DNA symbol. It's an all-seeing eye. It's a butthole. Oh my god. We decoded it, bro. Sumos, Honda, bro. Honda Corporation's going down, bro. Wowie. I gotta read the comments on this one. What the fuck are they saying? This is just showing we all come from the same one and then return to the same one. That's Mother Mary Mother Mary meditation station. And then you go here and what's going on her page. Oh, the Taurus. You don't know the Taurus, bro. When they ask if you are armed. Bro, I got so many motherfucking crystals. I got so many gems. These people are nuts, dude. Yeah, this is literally 2017 Instagram, or at least the people I was watching, the people I started interacting with on there. Grill says, "Is this the new SNL intro?" Yeah, that was G.E. Smith and the Saturday Night Live band playing that song, actually.
But I'm like pretty sure like there's like people on this earth who understand like the energetic nature of this realm, and
there's some Qigong masters. There's these Qigong masters out here.
they don't share it with us.
I have my energy blockage. Got some energy blockage here. These Qigong masters. They could touch my hemispheres and release me, but they don't.
And then they siphon our unused like star power.
Oh shit. I was just gonna say this reminds me of Aphrodite, and then she said starfire or star power. Same shit. They siphon in our star power. We put it in a tampon. They fish it out of the sewers.
To like boost their own. That sounds so crazy, but
That's literally the Aphrodite theory.
they've been telling us for so long. Like, they do tell us. Like, remember that song, like, we all live in a yellow submarine. Okay, well, like,
Yo,
they're talking about
the motherfucking mental breakdowns of Rio when you're pondering life on the fucking song written in the 60s or whatever. Fucking yellow submarine. This is what happens to these people, though. So it's just like, this shit is not good. Look at the path. Look at the path. You can go through the Aphrodite channel. And I know we clown her a lot, but I'm being serious. If you go through her, like, what she would call, or others may call, like a spiritual awakening, and you look at what happened, she shaved her head, went fucking totally insane, quit a job, fucking cashed out her 401k, traveled the country, ran out of money, and then now she's back to somewhat normal life, doing, earning money and doing stuff again. But for a long time, for many years, she was kind of where this lady's at. Well, I don't know who this lady is, but it kind of seems like that. The shit is not good for people. They have no foundation of truth or anything.
like a submarine. It's like the busing system in a computer.
Oh shit! We're like in a computer, dude. We're in the IEEE. Sabrina Wallace told me, bro.
And like
The Internet of Things is us, bro.
that's why like school buses.
The magic school bus, bro. Miss Frazzle Drip, the magic splooge bust. Oh my god, bro.
Are yellow, and they look like that because have you ever seen like the busing thing in a computer? It looks exactly like it. I mean,
Yo, the busing system of a computer. Have you ever seen the circuit board, bro? It looks just like a city. This is fucking gold right here.
in a simulation.
Jason of Archaics. I was one of 150 people that paid $333 to go see Jason Bashir's in his meetup in Las Vegas. This man said, "We live in a mathematical construct." It's true because he read books in prison. That's how you know it's true.
And imagine if you knew that we were in a simulation and you understood how to like energetically siphon like other people's power. And
Dude, imagine that you were like a fucking Trojan horse virus because you knew you were in a computer. You could just imagine that. This is a Christological skit, I think, right here. Is this Jim Bob right here? Holy shit, in a filter.
And basically they do it through your eyes. I know this sounds crazy, but
Who is this? Is this the bitch at the station I'm on? Mother Mary meditation station? Definitely gotta be. She's wearing like a it's like a zodiac tapestry she's wearing as like a scarf. Or it looks like actually a bib. It's just tucked into her neck. She eats her vegan diet. She doesn't get kale on her fucking her shirt.
do it like by showing you different symbols and things. And those sigils have energetic intention. And every time you interact with it, you're exchanging energy. This is
With
why,
who?
like, when you watch like stars and stuff, like, okay, like I mean, not
When you watch Enter the Stars, bro, you're exchanging energy with them, bro.
the stars in the sky, but like the Hollywood stars and stuff.
I've heard this shit many times before. Like, the reason they're called stars, bro, is because of the stars in the sky, and like each one of them represents the Hollywood stars.
They literally energetically like they vampirize or whatever the fuck. They suck your fucking energy. It's called loosh. That's why like loosh is actually like school. Like, oh my god, backwards.
Yo, I've never heard that one. Loosh is school backwards. Holy shit, bro. Just blew my mind. I believe this bitch now. Holy shit, I'm fully on board right here.
It's energy. That's why Kamala Harris was like, I love the fucking school buses.
Was that part of her campaign? I don't remember that part. I must have missed that one. I love the school bus. I'm so brat.
These fucking vampires.
Don't interact with any stars on the TV because they'll steal your energy. But watch me fucking crash the fuck out for 11 minutes on Twitter. Watch me lose my fucking mind. That won't steal any of your energy.
The thing is, I was like,
She's disgusted.
this just sounds like divisive and stuff. Like, I'm not trying to like spread some like fear and shit, but like, I think the goal is like to disconnect you from like,
From the
or
simulation?
maybe not disconnect you from your source, because I don't know if you could ever really be disconnected.
Well, bitch, you're in a simulation, so.
But they drain you, man.
Well, you're in a simulation, so just fucking eat a fucking power up mushroom or some shit. Keep going. Beholder says Magic School Bus meant something different growing up. Did you ever see Magic School Bus? Hold on. Let me blow your mind real quick. You might have already seen this though. Give me 1 second. I'll go back to that chick. All right, man. You ready for this shit? You guys all know Magic School Bus, obviously. Did you know these motherfuckers from the Magic School Bus, they grew up to become Captain Planet? What the fuck is that shit, bro? But Captain Planet came out first. So Miss Frizzle infected them with her magic shit and got them into the super lib environmentalism shit. And they became the Planeteers. Fucking crazy shit, bro.
And they suck out like all of your like creativity and all of your whatever, like through school and like having to conform, and then also
We don't need another brick in the wall.
like with like the idea.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the chat. Can you guys tell me what drug you think this chick is on? She's definitely. Speaking of drugs, bro, we got to check in on QOC in a minute here too. But I just happened to stumble upon this. This is pretty good. Hold on, gotta go through this a little more. But shout out to the chat. Thanks to everyone that's here.
Of having to like produce, like to live on the earth, like you're like, oh, well, I have to eat, I have to do all the worry and the fear. This is like food for them.
me worrying about my food is food for them. Who? The Kaigong Masters.
And they even like started this rumor where they say that they like actually drain blood of children. That's fucking bullshit. They just do it energetically. They don't even have to be in the same room as the fucking kids. They just do it through the system.
That's right, folks. It's interdimensional child molesters.
This is some fucking nefarious shit. But like,
have you ever seen this? Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up while she's talking.
I want to believe in like
second.
benevolence, right? Like there has to be some sort of reason, right? Like, could it really be that there's a world where there's just literal fucking vampires just like draining us, and then when we die they just recycle our shit right back in, like into the fucking simulation, so they can just keep doing it?
Hold on, she's still talking to my ear. Is this how it is, bro? It's like the like the lower in the IQ that believe in God, and then when you're midwit, you think you're too smart to believe in God. But then when you get like past the midwit stage, it's like, okay, yeah, God's definitely real. Is that the maybe back in the old times they were trying, well, even now maybe like they're just trying to like intentionally dumb people down or keep them dumb, because there's this gigantic middle ground where you become like that lady. It's like growing your hair out or some shit. Like you get that awkward part like once you start growing. Like I used to have super long hair, believe it or not, bald as fuck now, but the hardest part was the like once it was like past my eyes and like not even to my chin, like that super awkward part. But once it was long, it looked good. Same shit, like with your brain and thinking and shit. Like you get into all this fucking basically there. It's all basically Gnostic shit, right? And it just leads you down a fucking bad path. I feel like I'd like to know this lady's story actually. Like see what led this lady to this fucking this point where she's fucking tweaking on the internet.
And like, that's why they call it like the 33 Club or whatever. Like, and see, if you really know what it is, it's like about ascension, but they like use this knowledge to like fucking siphon it from us, because a long time ago they lost their like they lost their first light.
Damn, this bitch is high as fuck. Let's speed it up. I want to get through this. There's probably some more gold in here. They lost their light, but somehow they can control all of humanity and siphon all your shit.
Because they sacrificed it in order to like gain riches and shit. But then they didn't realize that they're like bound to this earth. And if they die, they die. But they don't actually die. They just get recycled back in. But they don't want to do that. So they like continually destiny swap with us, and they continually fucking siphon our energy through all sorts of shit, like wars, voting, fighting, separating us, dividing us. That's literally what they're doing. That's how it serves them. And
why is she whispering? She living in her mom's basement. She had to move back home with mom.
They've externalized our internal chi into money. And that's why it's like a currency. They've taken our inner currency and did, like, bro, this is insane. What? Like,
well, I'm gonna come back to this chick. She's getting. We gotta. Speaking of drugs, bro. Speaking of drugs, We got to get into this guy. Did you guys see this? Yo, shout out to my guy, New Normal World Order. See him over there on Jim Cornette's drive-through. But I did a post that I shared my wife's drawing, and he said, "Bro, you got to go check out QOC's video today and read the comments, bro. It's so fucking funny. If you guys didn't see this shit, did I carbon monox myself? So if you've been following us here or following QOC, so this guy built an entire another YouTube channel. It's called Stove Advice, and he builds these like Russian stoves out of bricks and shit, and pipes them into the house. He's got like 15 feet underneath underground of like brick and shit coming into his house to heat his house and all this. So honestly, kind of a cool and interesting hobby. But he's like just another weird channel we found of this guy. And anyway, so today is this is on the QOC channel, but today it's like, did I carbon monox myself? I need your help.
2 quick things I forgot. The cats are fine. No issue at all. Zara's upstairs all the time. Addie's
He must have had a video before this that, hold on, let me double check. I think he had a video before this where he said that, or maybe he had just kind of mentioned it in this other video. I don't know, because
Guys, 2 quick things I forgot. The cats are fine. No issue at all. Zara's upstairs all the time. Addie's the only one down by this stove, but she's fine. So, I still think it is what it is. I'll have the video coming up. And the carbon monoxide detector is in the other room with the door closed for the oil.
Yo, is Matt is Matt one of these black people with the carbon monoxide detector chirping all the time? Chirp. That's why he's got to go in the other room. He's got to hide in the telephone room to do his videos. Carbon monoxide thing's been beeping for fucking 2 years in his house.
Oil burner. I keep it
Oil burner.
there for the oil burner. I've never had an issue with. Been burning wood stoves for 22 years. So I'm gonna get a detector before ever burning this one again.
Yeah, remember Ninja Golf? We found the Kung Fu Golf video on this guy, man. We might have to do a whole second deep dive on this guy. Maybe even tonight. It's been a while. Refresher course, and in case anyone's new here. So this guy, if you don't know, real quick, QOC, he shouted me out, got me a bunch of subscribers. So shout out to Matt. But he has this channel called Quantum Conscious. He used to have a channel called Texas Shrug, but then when we dug into him, we found he was an insurance salesman for kidnapping insurance. He had a seemingly unrelated, I guess somewhat related, older YouTube channel that was about insurance for vacant homes. And then we found there was a thing called Michael Victor on Google Maps, was the only person uploading pictures that had a picture of what his house is or his address. And it was a picture of like a Qualcomm tower outside of his house. And then when you went to that Michael Victor's page, there's tons of pictures of what's called the AT&T long line system, like just these repeater towers and everything all throughout the United States, even on military base. It was a fucking insane rabbit hole, dude. It was crazy. And there was even a picture of a guy in one of the, like a totally different state on that Michael Victor page, which relates right back to Matt's house. There was a picture of a guy that looked like Matt and shit. Fucking nuts, dude. But there's other crazy shit we found on this guy. But anyway.
Hey guys, it's Matt. No video today. I believe I've been slowly carbon monoxide poisoning myself. I need your help. I need the help of 3, 4, 5 people here who might really know what they're talking about here, or at least help me figure out what this is. Never went through a night like last night. Never been, the muscles just cramping in different places, spasm in the muscles of the ribs every time like somebody's stabbing me. I looked it up. I didn't think cramping was associated with carbon monoxide poisoning, and it appears to be closely associated when I looked it up.
He sounds like shit, man. I don't know. He sounds like Sanity Machine to me.
No, I
Same goy.
appreciate the well wishes, guys, but I'm in too
Sounds like he's struggling to breathe, man. You guys, I have my headphones on. I don't know if you guys can hear that. He's struggling.
much pain to go through comments. I know people would be like, hope you get better. I cannot go through those comments. Please don't comment unless you specifically have an idea as to what.
Don't you dare comment unless you know why, why I'm sick. Robbie Burns, belief in God is smart, but understanding interdimensional parasites is dumb, right? Well, if you call on the name of Jesus, an interdimensional parasite can't fuck with you.
Is going on here, what kind of muscle relaxer I can take. Put it this way. Let's just say I found an OxyContin last night. Did nothing.
What's he mean I found one? Like, I've never been prescribed one by a doctor, but somehow, some way, just in the middle of my house, I just found an OxyContin.
Absolutely nothing. Till I took a second.
I found a second one. Holy shit. These cats are running a drug trade out of my house. Is that not sus right there? This dude is having symptoms that could be related to opioid withdrawals, and he's talking about he's popping 2 oxys and not even feeling it. He just happens to have oxys in his fucking house. Fucking weird, bro. This dude's a degenerate druggie or what?
Which nobody's ever prescribed that for me. Say, I found it. Put it that way. And that helped a bit.
What the fuck does that mean? Somebody gave it to him. One of his subscribers came over. Dropped off some boomer pills for him.
It's a long story, guys. Of course, you know my stove testing, stove advice. Playing with the...
Yo, shout out to Stove Advice, the fastest growing Russian stoves channel on the internet.
Damper on the pipe at the back of the wood stove, shutting the damper down a bit. This is very, very dangerous unless you know what you're doing. I think I shut the damper down.
Okay, wouldn't the fucking cats be dead if you're carbon monoxide the whole house to the point that you're having these severe reactions? The cats would be dead, right? The cats are way fucking smaller. That doesn't make sense to me that the cats are fine.
And I think slowly over time, because I mentioned you a month ago, I had severe leg cramping. Slowly over time, I believe, because of me messing with this damper, that I've been slowly carbon monoxide poisoning myself. The last 3 days, rain, ice cold here in Pennsylvania. I start burning the stove again and playing with the damper so I can keep the wood in the damn stove.
Yeah, finding oxy is like Musk finding money. Yeah, it's just like you pull out your old coat. There's like a $20 bill from last winter or something. Like, oh shit, I found it. No one's ever prescribed me these. I just happen to find some fucking, not 1, but 2 oxys. But wait, there's more.
For a longer period of time. And I've never been in this sort of pain. So I have, I don't know. It's never.
Bro, this guy sounds like he's dying, bro.
Lingered this long. I mean, I can barely move. So one, does it sound like because of all the stove weird stuff I've been doing? I can't describe exactly what I was doing. That.
Why not? You have a channel dedicated to talking about this. You're doing CAD programs to like pre-build these things and shit. Why can't you describe what you were doing? Is this like a code? Is there gonna be like a biological attack coming up in the next few days? Is that the code here or some shit?
It could be carbon monoxide poisoning. There was a period.
It could be opioid withdrawals. I don't know. I can't tell.
Like 2 weeks ago where it got warm. I wasn't burning the stove. I was outside a lot. It was almost 80 degrees here in Philadelphia. And I felt great. And to me, it's like correlation, cause and effect. Cold weather, rain, start burning the stove for 3 days. And severe. Okay,
you think he got the jab? Is that what happened? That jab's fucking crippling him right now.
Ear cramping, can't sleep, being stabbed all night long. And when OxyContin doesn't work, this is a real issue. I've got Doan's pills, some sort of magnesium. I guess I'll try that. I'll try anything. Advil, bro, nothing.
This guy cannot breathe. Can you hear? I don't know if it's just because I have the headphones, but can you guys hear that? This guy's literally, I shouldn't be laughing. He's struggling to breathe. Like, that's not good, bro.
Absolutely nothing. So if it's carbon monoxide poisoning, obviously I know open the windows. I vented the house with a fan in the window for 2.5 hours yesterday. All new air in the house. got windows cracked now, but I don't think there's any magic wand. The damn poisoning, whatever, has to clear my blood. I don't think, I don't want to go into a hospital, doctor's office or anything. They don't have any magic wand where they're going to wave, oh, here, come see my carbon monoxide magic wand. They don't.
Yeah. Curious Georgia. Midol? Yeah. I think I have carbon monoxide poisoning. Can somebody pass me a Midol? The Oxy didn't do shit. Let me try a Midol. Yo, what? I shouldn't be laughing, bro. It sounds like he's fucked up. But what's funny is when you go in the I shouldn't even say this is funny either, but it's fucking insane, dude. When you go into the comments right here, oh my God, who called the police or who called all the people who just came down my driveway? Fire department came here, EMTs came to my house, and an ambulance. State police just showed up. They asked me 20 times to go to the hospital, even though they agreed I was not in any sort of life-threatening situation. I'll be fine in a day or two. Please don't send more first responders. No EMTs and police to my house. Thank you. Of course, I would have never made this video if I would have known there are 1,000 very brilliant people here at this channel. It would have been dumb of me to not try to tap their knowledge by making this video asking for advice. Dude's gonna die like trying to get people in his comments to like tell him what's wrong with them. He'd rather just like type, go to the hospital, Matt. Damn, bro. Unless you don't want him to know you got an opiate addiction or some shit. What the fuck, dude? So the subscribers started calling EMTs for him. Michael Victor made the call, man.
Haven't. It's just going to be me suffering there. So does it sound like that's what it is? I mean, Lyme disease has a million different symptoms. Everybody's symptoms are a little different. I'm not aware of any. I've had a few deer ticks on me this year, but not. I get them out very quickly. I've had 20 on me over the years. I got them out very, very quickly. I don't think there's any chance that it's Lyme. I don't have any other symptoms. I don't have nausea, vomiting. I don't have a high fever. Just constant. My whole body aches, and the cramps is when it spasms every. I don't know. You just move 1 inch in the wrong direction. It spasms. It's like being stabbed over and over again. So.
Well, there's that maybe someone broke it in his home and gave him the jab. That means he won, bro. That was his whole take was if they kick your door down and give you the jab, that means you win, bro. Because they violated you. I would say the exact opposite. If you let these people come in and violate you, you absolutely lose. You're given autonomy over your body. You have to protect yourself, your family, your house, all that stuff.
I had this 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, to a lesser degree. I took 1 OxyContin. It loosened up. And
how many does he have? He said a couple weeks ago he took 1 and it loosened up. And they said tonight he found 1 didn't work, so he took 2.
In the morning, I felt fine. I think that's why it's cumulative. I think as the carbon monoxide level builds up in the blood. Anyway,
dog, you're drinking beer, watching movies. You're watching fucking what is it called? The 5 Deadly Venoms with some suds and popping pills. No wonder you're fucking passing out and feel like fucking shit, bro.
I'm not gonna burn the stove anymore this year, and I know how to fix the problem with the damper issue. I know that wasn't clear, but that is not what I should have been messing with. I hope somebody has some information they can share, at least short-term muscle relaxers. How do you get rid of spasm in the muscles of the ribs?
He's begging for pills from his subscribers, bro. This is like a cry for help, dude. Seriously. I shouldn't be laughing. I'm kind of laughing here. Like, this shit's not funny, bro. This dude's a druggie.
I can't even take a full breath, a quarter breath. Every time I burp, it knows I'm going to burp. It goes into spasm, and it's like, it's okay. Thank you. I'm sure you have some well wishes, but please don't even bother. I can't, I don't even know if I'll be able to get out of bed. Well, I'm going to get out of bed to check these comments to see if there's anything here that can help me. Thanks, guys. I don't know about Free Voice tomorrow. It comes quick, it leaves quick. So hopefully I'll bounce back. But if not, I'll see you on Monday or Tuesday.
What the fuck? What a weird video, bro. What an absolute weird video. The comments are nuts too. What about yourself, Matt? Man. Different people saying that. Oh, now they're saying he's getting hit with the EMF frequencies. Yo, the not nokes hitting you with the EMF frequencies, dog. I have friends who were zapped during New Zealand. Damn, it's that Qualcomm tower outside your house, dog. Yeah, you need an Oregon pyramid, dog. Exactly. You need damn, you need the Oregon pyramid. Make sure you're grounded, bro. Have that little that life alert or whatever bracelet Santos was selling. If you had that bracelet, you'd be safe. You get as a medical radiographer for 21 years, you need to be medical. Yeah, bro, you need to go to the fucking doctor. If you're watching this, fucking swallow your pride and go to the fucking doctor. And they're gonna know damn well you're an opiate head or whatever. Whatever you're trying to not let them know, they're gonna know because they've seen it before, and they're gonna be able to like tell you what's up and help you. Yeah, don't take muscle relaxers. The hardest. Yeah, I don't really know that take, but yeah, maybe you don't want to like be drinking, watching Shawshank, and pop some fucking pills, slip into fucking. You're gonna end up. This is gonna be the next Davy Crocco right here, bro. Him and Crocco are gonna be fucking partying together soon. Holy shit. Here you go. You've diagnosed yourself correctly. I had a similar experience many times ago. You need fresh air. CO poisoning can cause muscle pain, muscle necrosis, leading to renal failure. It's very serious. If you feel weak, have trouble moving, or have severe muscle pain, just taking pain meds won't fix this. You need massive doses of oxygen. Yeah, bro, you need to be hooked up to the tube to your nose because I'm not sure how that sounded to you guys, but I have these headphones on. The motherfucker could not breathe, bro. Call Pam right away. Tell you tell her you need mouth to mouth. Maybe she'll give you the make a wish. You don't want to die a virgin, bro. Call Pam. She'll revive you back to life. She'll put those paddles on your chest. Damn, bro. Okay, here, Matt. I use an old Amish remedy that shuts off cramping like a switch. Diluted apple cider vinegar and raw garlic. Yeah, for fuck's sake, Max, get some fresh air. You and the cat. Yeah, touch grass, bro. Pretty sure that's the solution. Mind over matter is the hardest thing to remember when you're sick. Just transmute that shit, bro. It's just an invisible gas, bro. He said, "Yeah, drink some pickle juice, bro. Yeah, you need them electrolytes in your fucking muscles. Pickle juice got you. Pickle Rick." Um, I don't know, bro. I remember too when he said about the jab. He said like, he's like, "Oh, honestly," he was saying something like that, like it's just mind over matter. You can transmute it. It's just like a few milliliters of some kind of a liquid. It can't be that bad. And then somebody in his comments was like, "Oh, why don't you take some LSD then?" Well, shit, you might find some LSD. Walk around the house some more, dig in the drawers. You might find some. Holy shit. Yeah, look at people saying, go to the emergency. Yeah, bro, you need to have somebody watch the cats and get your ass into a fucking hospital, bro. Most of the time, hospitals are bullshit, but if you can't breathe and end up fucking dead, bro. Matt, if it's not carbon monoxide poisoning or Lyme's disease, perhaps you should consider your food intake. Euphemism for diet, in case you didn't know that. I cringe hearing when you subsist on chunky soup, Coca-Cola, Wawa, Rocco's Pizza, Chinese food, Target mixed nuts. Man, I get it. I'm also a bachelor and don't enjoy cooking. Yeah, he's getting fucked up with what he's eating, right? Now he's gonna come back super jacked. He's gonna do like the carnivore diet. And he's just gonna start lifting. He's gonna turn the kung fu golf room into fucking weight room. And he's just gonna be like fucking one of those like old jack dudes. He's gonna be fucking ripped. He's gonna be looking like Dave Bautista, Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, lots of water. Yeah, right here. Call 911 immediately. Yeah, dude. Absolutely. Yo, that's Pandora here. Good advice, Pandora. Are you still in the chat? Call 911 immediately. This shit is life threatening. Severe muscle spasms could indicate serious problems. Get fresh air. Sit down and watch the symptoms. Yeah, you need like what do you call that shit? Like a hammock or some shit and like sleep outside for a couple nights or something, bro. This is what I want to know too, though. They said, wouldn't the cats be sick too? Don't you think wouldn't the cat be more fucked up than him? Or does the cat go outside? Is that the difference? He's making them videos outside, doing them stoves outside and shit. Yeah, it says they use some shit called methylene blue is what the ER uses to fix the carbon monoxide poisoning. You can buy it. I buy mine at Compass Labs and take it for the brain damage I got with the low blood sodium, which also causes cramping. Don't let it get as far as I did. I was 2 hours away from death, and I just struggle to get my brain working right again. I love you immensely. I really do think you need to go to the ER. You think his family like watches his videos and they're like checking in on him? Maybe his own family is like calling the paramedics and shit to his house. You need magnesium, bananas. See, I don't know shit about the Russian stoves, but this person says don't tamper your stovepipe ever. No idea if that's the problem or not. Yeah, these people just keep saying potassium. I doubt it's potassium. I mean, he may be deficient in potassium, but this sounds like he's really fucked up. You know, here's Vic Meow giving him some good advice here. Shout out to Vic Meow. I don't know if she's in here right now. Maybe she's watching it later. You also sound shortness of breaths. Yeah, exactly, bro. Sound like you could barely fucking breathe. Yeah, everyone's saying, why are the cats fine? Very weird thing. Right here. Reality's breaking down. Let's look at this headline in tomorrow's paper. Man dies while seeking medical advice from comments on his YouTube channel. That's where it's headed, Matt. If you're watching this shit, bro, you got to swallow that pride and go to the fucking doctor. Get some help, man. A couple of years ago, I think it was like 2 years ago, my money was really fucked up around Christmas time. Like, my shit was fucked up, bro. And like, these really nice people from church came and brought me they brought like a basket of food for us. Like, my money was fucked. And I was like mad at first. I was like, fuck no, I don't need no help. Like, I was really mad. I was like, and I kind of just like caught myself in the moment. I was like, okay, man, like, these are really nice people, like trying to do something nice for me. And I thanked them. So, but when I thought about it later, I was like, okay, that was kind of fucked up. Like, I almost like shooed them away and told them, yelled at them and shit. Cause my first instinct was to be mad and like act like I didn't need any help. And I did need the help. So sometimes you just need some help, bro. Crazy shit, man. Here's another. Here's pickle juice. There it is. EBT was right. Yeah. Ron Walker says, how does Matt make a living? YouTube, I guess. I mean, he must have a little small mountain of money from when he was doing whatever he was doing. Yeah, this is that 100K stuff. It's a humiliation ritual. The lodge is making him do the humiliation ritual. organ harvesting, damn. Yo, this shit's crazy. The canary doesn't die, it falls over before the coal miner. Yeah, this motherfucker needs a canary. Someone better buy him a canary. Yeah, concrete confirmation of carbon monoxide poisoning comes from whatever this blood test measures the amount of carbon. Yeah, that's what he needs to do then. He can't just WebMD this shit and hope that he's right. Because if you're wrong, bro, it's your ass. You might think like, oh, well, I don't have a family or some shit. That's all the more reason to, bro. You're gonna die in that house. No one's gonna know. Those cats are gonna be fucking eating you for fucking 2 weeks before anyone finds out. Yeah, oxygen therapy removes it from the blood. Crazy shit. Yeah, mold. Somebody else says mold. Actually, that's a really good possibility though. If you have severe mold, we saw his house. He showed it once, bro. I can't believe he showed the shit. He lays like tarps all over the house, and he pins the tarps down with fucking like weights, like barbells or dumbbells, I should say. And he lays them all out so that the cats piss all over the tarps because the cats were pissing all over the walls and the floor. So I'm sure there's like cat piss in the walls and shit causing fucking mold and shit. This is like toxoplasmosis, the final stage right here. Yeah. How would he not have a carbon dioxide detector? Dude was an insurance agent. Exactly, bro. I mean, in his defense, though, it's kind of hard when it's yourself. It's kind of hard to like diagnose your own fucking shit sometimes. You know what I mean? It's hard to remove yourself from it and look at it, objectively, I think sometimes. Because a lot of times I'll look at like these channels on YouTube. I'm like, if this guy just did this and this, I think he could have a lot of subscribers. I think it's hard for me to do that for my own channel because I'm just like in it and I'm into it. Damn, bro. Yeah, mold. I hope this guy gets help, man. I'm here laughing at him, kind of making fun of it, but I hope he gets some kind of help at least. Ryler, it's over, Matt. The cats have the high ground. Damn, bro. All right, man. Let's send Matt some prayers. Click around here. I got some other stuff up I want to talk about. Looks like nobody's joining. I might drop the link here in a minute. Heart. Remember Heart? Love their music growing up. This is sad. This is what I've been talking about this. These people cannot stop touring. Bro, they're rolling this bitch out in a wheelchair on like a stadium tour. Willie Nelson was just here by my house at 90 years old. There's no way this guy can play the guitar anymore. And they must pump him full of some kind of amphetamines or something and push him out there. Like they're never allowed to retire or quit. Cher, somebody at my work said they just went and saw Cher. I was like, bro, Cher's still touring? Damn, this is maybe they're trotting these old motherfuckers out here on tour just to like get you to want the hologram, like a Tupac hologram. Like, bro, I'd rather see like these guys young looking on a realistic hologram than this is sad. This lady should be at home enjoying all the money she made in her career instead of being out here fucking on a wheelchair. Crazy, bro. Yo, what is this one?
Fist flew.
A waitress attacked and beaten at a Pilsen restaurant by two female customers who then took off.
A merciless beating caught on camera, all stemming from a dispute over the check. Before fist flew, a disgruntled customer went behind the bar and dunked the waitress's phone.
Damn. She threw the waitress's phone
into a bucket.
Into that drink. That's fucked up.
After she was told she would not be getting a refund. The restaurant alleges both customers had finished most of their takeout order when they demanded a refund. That same customer then takes her frustrations out on the restaurant. She starts making a mess of the
I'm mad.
place. Employees tell me the waitress began to call 911. escalating the situation into an all-out melee. The beating continued for about 2 minutes, where both women were seen stomping, punching, and kicking the waitress. I came in, and when I heard what was going on, I was able to pull off one of her attackers. When we finally got them separated, one of them turned to me and started swinging. She has a message for those responsible. I want them to know we're going to find you, whatever it takes. I'm putting everything I have into this. I have no doubt about it. We're going to find you.
Yeah, motherfucker. That shit would never go down at Waffle House. This shit is bait for white people. No, that needs to be fake. This shit's real, bro. Have you lived around black people? This shit is 100% real, bro.
A waitress attacked.
Like I said, the Waffle House, bro, they'll stomp your ass out, bro. The motherfucking cook, the chef will come out, chop your ass up for real. They knew better than to try this shit at the Waffle House. Crazy shit, man. This is like the society we live in today. Yeah, somebody said they better not start messing with the Mexicans. That could end very bad. Yeah, this is what I mean. Like the Twitter will get you. I see what you're saying, Riley. Like the Twitter will get you. Like fucking be pressing your racist button when you're on Twitter. Twitter will be like pressing that thing. Your prejudice button. When are we going to address black violence? We're so afraid of being called racist. We all watch video after video and say nothing. And worse, nothing's ever done. It is a taboo topic that a lot of people refuse to ever engage in or talk about. Is like black people, crime, and races, and even if it's possible that more certain races are more predisposed to certain things or IQs related to race or anything. These are huge taboo topics, and one of the things I don't remember the exact phrasing or even what it was, but I was on one of those AIs and I asked it something about something about like, are black people more predisposed to believe propaganda or something along those lines, and the thing would completely like kept shutting me down. I was trying to like ask it from different angles, and it just will not engage in any kind of activity like that. And that's why the AI will always be bullshit, because it's programmed with those biases built into it, where a real human being would be able to examine the evidence, whether it's about, even if it's about a race or it's about vaccines or anything like that, and be able to examine all the evidence and change their mind and come to a different conclusion. When you go into the AIs and stuff, it's completely unable. It's by its own program, it's not allowed to go in, and you see that even with a lot of people. So that's why I think the AI it's a good. When that lady said we were living in a simulation and stuff, I see why people think that, and it's a good way to even explain it. And a lot of these people, like NPC type people, are really similar to like an AI. So the AI is almost like a metaphor for these people, where they're just ran by their biases and programming, and they're unable to overcome that. Just like the AI, it's crazy. But there has to be, I would assume there has to come a time where I think the solution would be, we got to go back to some type of segregation. The forced desegregation is what caused this problem. I think most of these people didn't even want to be desegregated. Some of them did, but not like the majority of them. And that's the stream I've been wanting to do, and I just don't have the time, I don't think, to do it the way I want to do it, where I want to go back in and look at the desegregation, the forced gunpoint desegregation. And the argument at the time was against it, was like that it was a communist ploy and a communist takeover to destabilize homogenous communities, black and white communities, actually, to destabilize both of them. And when you look at what their argument was, and the counter to their argument was that at the time they were just saying it was a states' rights thing wasn't a strong enough argument to get the whole nation behind them. So what they had to do is they had to say this is a communist plot and agenda to get more backing from other states and stuff that would, to build their narrative and stuff. But if you look at what happened and what they said would happen, that it would destabilize black and white communities. I mean, I think it perfectly did exactly that. And if you look at especially the bums, when I look at the bums, there's like packs of tweakers. They live under bridges and shit here, like literally. I'm not even kidding. And the tweakers like self-segregate. There's like white tweakers, fucking black, probably more crackheads and shit. Like whatever the fuck these people are on, they're like segregated by race pretty much on their own. And a long time ago when I was in high school, like the kids were like self-segregated in the lunch tables for the most part. And I went to a pretty like diverse school, tons of Asians, Hmongs, and blacks and Somalians and stuff, and everyone kind of self-segregated. When you look at in general the nature of it, each continent is separate. Each continent and culture is separated by like oceans, right? Like by design. Black versus white, not black and white together versus parasite class. Well, yeah, I guess I'm hopeful that that's where it's going. That's where the narrative seems to be building up to. Is there's the rootless cosmopolitans that are behind all this stuff, and to get these people to wake up and realize those people are not white people. They're a completely different thing. Brody says, what did more damage, that or rap music? That's part of the whole thing too, to like bring down the familial structure, the family structure on both sides, and destroy marriages, destroy nuclear families, create this rap music. Well, they didn't create it, but they co-opted it right away and brought it into like, I'm sure there's some kind of like frequency science behind it, because it didn't start as the low, rattling bass and stuff like that. I'm sure there's some types of actual science behind it to like agitate you and stuff like that. Because you're not, if you're gonna do a drive-by, you're not gonna listen to fucking Yanni or some other shit. You're gonna listen to some killer shit, right? When it's happening. David Polk, blacks and whites by and large are incompatible. Well, that's what it seems like, and you see it on the world stage, even especially over in the UK. I would say like not just blacks and whites, but also like culturally, you need to have this like homogenous culture with like a central like religion, and those people need to be all in kind of one area. You can't have all this intermixing shit. It's not good for anybody, I don't think. I mean, look at the results of it here on the screen. They wouldn't do this shit if it was in a black-owned restaurant with black waiters in the black community and shit. There'd probably be a different outcome. I can't say for sure, but I don't know how far I want to go into this. Not because I'm scared of talking about it, because I do want to do a stream on this. I think it's an important discussion to have, and there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about it. I don't want to turn this whole stream into that stream that I've planned. So nobody from the Discord's joining the chat. I'm gonna drop the link here real quick. If someone wants to come in just for a minute, I don't think I want to keep going. I don't want to have people just hanging out forever. But if someone wants to pop in just for a few minutes, say what's up, and Drop the link real quick. Let me go back to this chick for a minute. Cleanse my palate of the race issue. There's just so much to say and talk about there. That's got to be its own stream, I think.
Shit. Because, like, if Jesus was like a Mayan, which he was, like...
Wait, what? What did she say? Let me bunk this back down a little bit.
Like, bro, this is insane. What? Like... Shit. Because, like, if Jesus was like a Mayan, which he was, like... And these like, vampires came and, like, stole the shit. Like, the real true knowledge of, like, ascension. Like... And then used it in, like, a...
So you're in a simulation. Jesus was a Mayan, and he was just doing like some Kundalini rising shit or something.
You know, in a different kind of a way. Huh.
Beholder says so much we can't say on YouTube's about that. Fuck them. I'm gonna talk about it. I have no problem talking about it. And I think it's important that people do talk about it. I just kind of want all the thoughts in one stream together, and where I'm gonna go if I get into it is kind of the stuff I've been building up for that other stream. That's why you guys have heard me talking about. I want to do the Age of Aquarius stream. That's what I want to get into, and it's not like it's kind of like racist bait, where it'll look like it's kind of a racist type thing or prejudice type stream. But when you get into it, these people are also somewhat victims to it as well. The Black community, the way they've been targeted, and ultimately it's their choice to continue to do this, the people that do it. So you can't just give them a total free pass on it. But I think by forced desegregation at gunpoint, with some social scientist somewhere knew that the outcome would be this, and fucking 40 or whatever it is, 80 years later, whatever.
I don't know. These are just thoughts. Like, I don't know. And like, it's like not a fear thing, but it's like, shit. Because they can't actually kill you, but they can like make your frequency so low and drain your like fucking energy so much that you like want to kill yourself. And then if you kill yourself, I don't know, man. I don't know if they get like a super prize, but
if they get a what?
I don't know, man. I don't know if they get like a super prize, but
if they get a what? I can't hear what she's saying. Let me play that one more time. Hold on.
If you kill yourself, I don't know, man. I don't know if they get like a super prize, but
Okay, super prize, Michael. Yeah, that is what she said. if they get you to delete.
I don't know, man. This sounds kind of crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd much rather teach about like how to like break free of that type of a thing.
Oh, shit.
One of the hugest ways would be to like switch the way we do school, which is just learning, and take it from like,
let's say she's gonna say some like Mayan culture, some like Indian, the noble savage, fucking Indian culture. So let's see what she says.
The system that it is, which is basically like a prison type system of like conformity and like basically taking all individuality away. Because if you try to be like fucking, if you're like creative or think outside of the box, they like fucking hate that shit. They literally hate that shit. Well, there has to be a reason why they hate that shit. That's not a...
Who's they? I would like to talk to this lady.
Booger. It's freaking paint. It's golden.
She said it's not a booger. I promise it's not a booger, guys. I promise.
But they like hate creativity. Like, they don't want people to really solve problems. They just want us to fight about like, because the true solving of the problem, you have to go to the root source, and they never want to do that.
I want to talk to this lady, bro. What is the root source? Should I send her the link? Should I drop the link in her Twitter and see if she comes on?
I just want to talk about like the symptoms.
Hold on.
You know, like abortion is a symptom. School shootings are a symptom. They're all symptoms of separation consciousness, which is what they literally give you in school. They literally take your like.
Hold on. We're gonna get her in here. I don't know if I can drop a link here. Let me try it again. Hold on. Oh damn! I lost the spot. Is that? Can I do that? I guess it let me.
Energy so much that you like want to kill you. We're taught to ostracize them. We're taught to like, oh, they're not following the rules, so they're fucking bad. Like, what? The rules that you have are like literally killing kids. Like, there are kids who want to murder themselves. Like, there are kids who want to take their own lives at like 6 years old, man. 7 years old.
Yeah, the same kids that they're pushing this gender ideology on.
That is not fucking normal. That is a symptom of something nefarious on this fucking earth.
Yeah, it's called demons, and this lady will get into Christianity. I feel like she's gotta hear about it.
And then you have like people like trying to like keep fighting for this fucking shit. They're like, yeah, we love it. Capitalism, division, fucking.
Yo, let's hook her up with TBE. She hates capitalism. He's gonna love her.
Maybe that's just an awareness layer to go through. Like maybe when we come here, you have to get separated so that you can like
from what? Separated from what?
Through a whole bunch of trash and then heal it. And then when you get back to source, you're like,
okay, separated from source.
You have all this extra experience that you can like share. And, like whatever. I don't fucking know. But I feel like they definitely drain our chi. And maybe they don't eat it, but the school system definitely fucking siphons our fucking energy, man. And I'm not saying I don't like education or learning. What I like is it's the idea of teaching to a test and regurgitating information. You're not really learning.
You're not learning that Jesus was a Mayan.
So we gotta like reevaluate. Why are we even here?
Yeah, I agree with Pruitt here. She's almost there going through her. I agree. Once she gets through this stuff, she seems to have somewhat good intentions.
Are we really here to just like isolate and just like... Everybody is desperate for community and connection.
That's what the human being's hardwired for, and then they do got you out here on these tablets and not even getting all the stuff brought to your house now and everything. You're basically a prisoner in your own house. I drove by excuse me. I drove by must have been, I don't know, middle school or probably high school kids at a bus stop, and they all stand like there's maybe like 15 kids on this one bus stop, and they all stand like super far apart, and they all just have the phone, and they're all just looking down. No one's looking at each other. Nobody's talking. I mean, when I was a kid, you had to go to the bus stop, and there's even where I lived, there was kids I didn't like at the bus stop. Like we weren't like fighting or anything, but it's just like we weren't cool. I would say we did dislike each other, but we were forced to like stand there and wait for the bus and at least be, somewhat civil or whatever. It wasn't straight fisticuffs on site or anything, but that's how it is when you get into the workplace and everything. It helps you build up to that. So I don't know how these people, these kids that spend 4 years at a bus stop looking down at a phone, how they're going to be able to go to a workplace and kind of resolve some kind of a conflict with a coworker or something like that if they've never really had to do stuff like that. Now you just like, I don't know. I guess I don't know what it's like now. Dr. Drew, pile of parking tickets. What's up? I saw Runson Tunson. Ryler, I saw Ryler over in the IPS chat. IPS had our boy, I shouldn't say our boy, he's not my boy, but Bureau Jack, the Machine Lies boy, Bureau Jack was over there calling in. He was glowing, bro. He was glowing hard.
Like, I don't want to spread negative.
And then on IPS, he had Jurassic Liars called in. Shout out to Jurassic Liars. He had a pretty good show. He had a couple good callers. And then it just got into Spurgeon on like some like loose connections and shit. I thought anyway. There was like some callers that towards the end. And they had all these real like loose connections. But if you have enough of these loose connections, you can make like a kind of like a tongue-in-cheek whatever you call it, like predictive programming. I don't know. I was thinking about calling in, but my kids are fucking crying like always, and I was gonna call in with my like WrestleMania and like connect that to it and everything that's happening. You know what I mean? Because there's actually tons of shit. Like I'm not even joking. There's tons of shit you could connect with what's happening about to be WrestleMania with like current events type shit. Whether that's just me being like schizo and like connecting these dots that really aren't there, but there's a lot of them, man. I felt like if I called and did that, it would have been all about it. I need to call into IPS. It's been a while, man, since I've chopped it up with him. I should invite him on. I made a cover a long time ago to invite him on, and I have it still. I just have never like reached out to him to come on and chop it up. I got to dig that cover out. I want to see if this lady's got any other crazy videos. Is this the same chick? Yeah, it is, right? Oh man, she's a talker. 6 minutes.
Let's talk about love.
Twitter was invented for a chick like this. Just get to the point. 144 characters. Let's go on to the next thought.
And what that means. Now, our world loves to like basically fractalize everything, categorize everything, and then like define it, okay? And love is sort of undefined. But our world likes to say that there's different types of love, right? Well, there's really only one true frequency of love, which is unconditional. So, but what does that look like? And what does this world teach that love is? So our world teaches that love is a conditional thing that must be earned.
Okay. I heard I can't even say this. Am I tripping? Or I heard glasses like cat ears. So it's got like cat ears and then it has like cat whiskers on the side, right? Yeah. Our common sense sees it. See? She's a cat bitch. So it's like cat ears and cat whiskers, but built into the glasses. Okay, we got one for you, Matt. Go get the carbon monoxide cured. And we got a BBW for you, Matt. I think you could handle this one. You could put a baby in her, a couple babies, Matt. This QOC's new bride right here. He can get her through the minutia. Get her through the pissed on breadcrumbs.
Your parents love you simply because you have their DNA, so they sort of have to, right? That's a rule. You're allowed to love your DNA recipients or whatever, okay?
Chick definitely has no kids.
You are allowed to love people that you get to know, and then you grant them that, right? So love is always a conditional thing that we are holding and only giving to the people who we think deserve it. That is the facts. Now, let's talk about the true love, which is unconditional. That is simply...
Let's talk about my true love. BBC.
Wanting the best for everyone you come in contact with and having the authentic heart.
Yeah, hey, Guru. You're driving on the road 55 miles an hour. You haven't looked up once. Maybe she's got a Tesla. But holy shit, lady. Watch where you're going.
Of that well, I want this person to have good and this person to have bad and this person that is so conditional. That is so divisive. It's so against the God of love, if you will. Like, the love of this earth is demented. Right? You know, the true love is unconditional and given through extended grace to all you meet. So that's
Yeah, maybe she's in an Uber. The Uber driver's right next to her, and she's just doing this rant, and the Uber driver's like, "What the fuck?"
what we should try to aim for. Jesus.
We got to get this lady on these panels, bro, for sure. This lady would be gold. I got to reach out to this lady.
Jesus taught unconditional love. He taught to see the self in the neighbor. So that means that if you see the self in the neighbor, you're humbling yourself. Essentially, you're.
What if your neighbor's a pedophile, though? What if your neighbor's just a fucking mass murderer or some shit?
Like, wow, look at that guy. He's speeding down the road and getting a ticket. Instead of being,
wow, look at that girl. She's not even watching where she's going. She's about to have a head-on collision.
Like, ha, loser, glad it's not me. Which is, you know, you would be like, oh man, bummer. Ugh, I hope he's okay. And I'm not better than him because I also too speed, even if I've never been caught. Okay, which I have, but I'm just saying. So, and then on top of that, you wouldn't actually ever get pulled over if you were in the authentic, unconditionally loving heart, because as I'm driving down the road now, speed limit's 40, it's 40. I'm choosing to do that because of the fact that I don't want to get into an accident and hurt anyone.
What the fuck did she just say? If I'm in a connected to source or some shit, I'm not gonna get a ticket? Is that what this bitch just said?
You know?
Hold on. I didn't understand
I'm
that.
down the road now, speed limit's 40, it's 40. I'm choosing to do that because of the fact that I don't want to get into an accident and hurt anyone.
You can get an accident at any speed, anywhere, anytime. That's a weird thought.
You know?
See, this woman here just needs some strong-handed man to guide her. I think this lady could figure it out. She doesn't seem completely lost. I mean, a little bit. She's just lost in the sauce right now. She needs some guidance.
And the reason why I can hold my phone like this and do this is because I have severe ADHD, and I don't know. I literally have the reflexes of like a freaking cat.
Like a cat. Yeah, a cat. I knew it.
But
I'm just like a cat. I'm just like a cat, like a carbon monoxide out cat.
Anyway, don't judge me. You know, I'm not judging.
You can see a car, right? Like it's like a truck right behind her. Yeah, they're flying down the fucking highway.
You? Why should I? You know, this is the thing. Judgment comes from the idea of the conditional aspect of everything. Like,
no, you should be judging people. You should be righteously judging people. You should be looking at the road, bitch. I'm driving with my family, and I don't need to be fucking smashed by some lady that's talking about fucking cats on fucking TikTok or something.
Oh, I'm better than you because you're less than me because of these conditions. That is.
I think a lot of the judgment, though, that's not. People don't think they're better. It's just they're judging people making the wrong choices. And that doesn't mean that the person's better than them. It just means they're maybe at one time they were making those wrong choices too, and then they can recognize that and change. But this whole, like, I see this a lot in the truthers and all that shit, but it's like, yeah, don't judge, or judgment is the worst thing you could possibly do. That's a very, like, common thing you'll see out here.
Against the Most High, if you will. I mean, high, low, those are.
Yeah, all praise to the Most High. Shout out to Days of Noah. Anybody's got any word on Days of Noah yet? We got to get this chick watching some Days of Noah. He can reprogram her.
Just like different vantage points, but I'm saying it's against the creative force that serves to propel a person into like something beautiful, I guess. I don't know. I think this world's a test, and the test.
Wait till you find out it's a hell realm, sweetie. Oh shit, you're in a hell realm.
Is whether or not you fall into the trap of conditional love, or
That's right, the soul trap. You in the soul trap.
Or if you do, you see it and then you realize it and then you shift it, right? Which is a thing you have to do. You have to think in your head and in your heart. You have to force the change. So like as you're interacting with people, you have to pay attention to your mind judging. You have to pay attention to your thoughts. You have to pay attention to your intentions. This is what self-reflection is, because when you
know who this lady would love? Jack Talcott. Oh, Jack Talcott would sweep this lady off her feet in a minute. She'd be roasting in Jack Talcott's fireplace the first fucking night for sure.
Start to pay
He'd chop that body into fucking 19 pieces for sure.
Attention to your intentions, your thoughts, and all of this stuff, then you're going to see your true self, your true shadow self, because are there times in your life where you look at stuff and you're like, that bitch? Yeah. And that is showing you who you are.
Nah, some people are just fucking bitches or dumbasses. When I got into it with my neighbor, it's not showing me that I'm a fucking child abuser because he's putting his son in a fucking dress. That guy's moving, by the way. Dude, I bullied my neighbor out of the fucking neighborhood. The dude's straight up moving, bro. And if you guys missed that story real quick, there was a neighbor, like literally the neighbor across the street. His 7-year-old son was coming over to play with our 7-year-old daughter, and it was cool at first. And then the guy was always weird, but I was like, he wasn't like that weird, but you could tell he was weird. And then anyway, the boy started wearing a dress over. And basically I told the dad, like, yo, he can't wear a dress over to my house. And he was sending the kid to school in the dress. And the dad fucking freaked the fuck out. And me and him got in an argument. It was pretty bad. And a couple days later, we tried to squash it, and it didn't work. Or he tried to squash it, I guess. And I didn't really back down from my points because it's my house. Like, I'm not going to have a 7-year-old boy in my fucking house in a dress. And anyway, so ever since then, this guy doesn't. This was what, 2 months ago, maybe. The guy doesn't come outside anymore. He keeps the kids inside. Wasn't even mowing his lawn for a long time. Like, the shit was like fucking high as your thigh for a minute. And then just found out now he's actually moving. He's taking the kids, and they're moving to I forgot what they said, but somewhere down south here. I was like, bro, they're not gonna accept that shit wherever he goes down here in the south. My other neighbor who talks to him said like they're moving to some super blue city down. It's not in Florida anymore. I can't remember which state it's in, but apparently he's moving to some. So anyway, that I bullied my neighbor out of the fucking neighborhood. And that doesn't mean, though, that's not a reflection, his actions, when I said that shit and we got into it.
So, I love Jesus, and he taught the way, which is what I'm teaching you right now, okay?
Oh, fuck. The Tao says... First of all, women shouldn't be teaching that shit, but this chick could go any which way. I think she could get swept into any kind of cult. She's kind of all over in her thoughts. She seems to have pretty good intentions to me.
Okay. And
yes, okay, yeah.
I would like to
Tropes, is that the crazy neighbor that wears the makeup? Yeah. He wears makeup. He does like a gamer stream, and on his little Twitch, his wife puts makeup on his face and shit. So they're moving.
Say that as far as him being a savior, that's the kind of knowledge you get once you get to the center of your heart, and then you understand who Jesus truly was. And I don't want to ruin it for you. I don't want to spoil it for you. So
she's on this like Jesus was an ascended master, and there's many different ascended masters type shit.
Would you seek to find God and seek to increase your like resonance to one of like unconditional love, authentic unconditional love, where you can actually look at other humans?
Seems like this could be a good woman for someone if you could get her out of this phase, get her on a treadmill
and take joy in their joy, because you know it's your joy at another time, if you will. That is the way, the truth, and the life to living heaven on earth.
You just gotta live without fear, brother. Yeah, thank you, brother. Is this real? A lot of gobbledygook nonsense there. She seems likable though to me. I don't know about you guys. Oh man, these are long videos. I wish they were shorter.
They fear the devil,
Wait,
right?
who fears the devil?
What do the Christians fear most? They fear hell. They fear the devil, right? They fear the word
No.
Satan.
Wrong. They fear God's judgment.
Okay. The word Hasatan, which is the Hebrew, means the accuser. Okay, so now
They fear being away from God. I guess you could say, you could call it the same thing, right? But is she saying like hell?
let's think about who is the accuser. Okay, it's the Republicans who accuse the Democrats. It's the Democrats who accuse the Republican. It's anything that is divisive.
I agree. This person, like, I feel like you can tell a lot just by someone's voice. I don't know if that makes sense, but she seems her thoughts are scattered, but she seems fairly coherent. If that makes any sense.
That causes sides. That causes one to
She's not just totally batshit crazy. She's not gonna burn your house down or anything like that.
think they're better than the other. Henceforth, one becomes the accuser and one becomes the one to blame, right? So that is acting in the frequency of Hasatan. When you are actually saying, oh, the far left or da-da-da, that's serving Satan, okay? Because Satan is the one who divides.
So you're just supposed to yoke up with fucking baby killers and fucking, you know, all these fucking insane child. And we're gonna cut a little boy's dick off and shit. You're supposed to yoke up with these motherfuckers because otherwise you're dividing and it's Satan.
All right.
Yeah, that's the word Beholder says. She's not as manic as you would think. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. She's not like super manic. Like Beholder says, she just needs some guidance.
So, yeah. And
I'm gonna put her link in the chat in case any of you guys want to holler at her. Can't turn a hoe into a housewife, but you might be able to turn some new age chick into your church bride.
and you know, because division is not not the way, the truth, and the light. Unity is the way, the truth, and the light. Trust is the way, the truth, and the light. Blame and division are caused from fear. Okay.
Live without fear. This is some Talcott shit here.
And
I've heard enough of this bitch now. Autism was never a disorder. This was the test. Somebody failed. Jesus did say the path is big one. You need to get this chick in a real church around some real godly folks. I think she'd be okay. Wait, that's. Oh yeah, she's a. That's a soul trap, right there. Okay,
the reason why I push unity consciousness so
one more. This one's short. I'm moving on.
much is because it's the way to like have experiencing the idea of heaven on earth. It's like, see, when we all know that we're connected and we all know that we are each other at a different like point of the same awareness, so we're all like the same one intrinsically, we might be individuated.
Dude, this is some idea that I specifically remember EBT talking about an idea like this when we very first started talking. Like, but also me exploring that same idea around the same time too, that like we're all like one person, you know, experiencing ourselves from a different vantage point or whatever.
Aspects of that one experiencing things, okay? But truly at the source, we are all the same one. I wish, not wish, but it would be so amazing if we all could have that realization, that awakening, and then experience this phenomenal physical world with that as our baseline awareness, instead of like a separated, fearful consciousness where we see each other as, instead of looking at them as like parts of self, as like things to connect with and commune with, we look at them as something completely separated from self, and we think that they have no effect on us, or we have no effect on them. And so that
Yo, Riley, you're wilding out here in the chat. I'm at my age in my 40s, where every chick in the show. Yo, you're crazy, fam. See, to me, maybe because I'm late, I'm getting into my later 40s now. I'm like, or maybe it's just, because I have a great wife and stuff. My home life's actually really good. Like, I come home, it's always a good. It's tiring. It's a lot of work, but it's great. And also because I think I had my first marriage failed and all that. And I know the alternative. You know what I mean? But I'm not like that anymore. I'm just like, oh man, I just want to go home. I just want to get away from all this bullshit. Go home, get home with my family and shit. That's funny shit though. I'd be worried nowadays that these are like reversos, man to woman and shit like that. That's what I'd be worried about. Oh, this chick's definitely crazy. All right, one of you guys is gonna go hit that shit. I know it. Oh yeah, she's smoking weed. See, get off the weed, woman. Druggie, yeah. Go do some oxys with Matt. I was looking at some Dugan shit. I don't know if I want to get into the Dugan shit here. I want to get into a little bit of the tariffs, bro, because I have a really great cover. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. I have a great cover. So I was trying to before I just kind of came on here to fuck around. I wanted to do a stream about the tariffs, but I've already done it. So I didn't know if there was enough meat on the bone to do like a whole stream on them again. But I have a dope ass cover. Hold on a second. Tell me if you see this fucking thumbnail in your feed. You're not gonna be clicking. Lib's gonna click on it even. But maybe I can talk about the tariffs and then I can make a little clip and then use this cover as, just get rid of that live part. Use this cover as the clip for the clip. Because I bet a lot of you people seen the clips that are out there that I would show as that's why I don't want to do a whole stream on just this. Because like I said, I've already done it, but where they show Nancy Pelosi and other people and Chuck Schumer in the past talking about tariffs are good and a good way to get at China. And maybe I can just kind of do that right now. And then when I'm done, make a little clip, put it on my channel, and see where he's going with the clips. But if you guys remember, I did that stream. It was called The Sheriff of the Tariffs with Trump. And I'm getting better, man. My predictions were fucking bullshit before. But now I said basically, I said the tariffs are not, they're just a bluff, basically. But they won't all be, it can't all be 100% of them a bluff. Because if everyone knows you're bluffing all the time, you know what I mean? Like you can't even bluff anymore. And I think that's why he talked about when he was with Zelensky, he talked about he doesn't have any cards. He's trying to show people he has to have the cards, right? You got to have the cards to bluff. And so the one way you have the cards is he can just target select nations, which China, and I got to go back and watch that stream, but I'm pretty sure I even said like he's going to target China and the rest of the shit will kind of be like a bluff to get them to come to the negotiating table. He's the art of the deal guy. They'll get favorable deals with each individual nation, but then leave some of these bigger ones, leave them on red like China and shit. And that's what it looks like is happening, right? Pretty much what I call it. It's a bluff, but he's fucking with China, and I think that does lead into where they want to go. And shout out to Days Noah because he's kind of on this whole. He's on this whole shit too. I shouldn't say this whole shit, but he had a stream too talking about instead of having this the new world order you thought it would be. It's going to be a different type of thing. It still will be a new world order, but it's going to be like a multipolar world order, where, in my opinion, it would be something along the lines of the stream before that. Sheriff of the Tariffs I did was, I need to just go into my things here. It was the Amero, the North American Union, and all that. So let me go to my channel so I can show. I've been talking about this since he got in here. Basically, the plan here. Yeah, so the first one I did was this Amero one, and it's like the North American Union idea of a shared resources and currency, South America, North America. That's why he's talking about Greenland. It would be that entire side of the map, basically. And then another pole would be like China and those Asian countries. And another pole would be, oh wait, I thought I was showing this fucking screen. But this is the stream that I did. If you missed that one, just go to my page, go to the live tab, the Amero stream. But that's where I talked about Trump making the, North America, South America, and that's why he's talking about Canada and Greenland, that one area, sharing resources and an economy and everything, being one pole of the multipolar world order. Another pole, I believe, would be China having control, or like the head of the table, basically, of the Asian nations, and then you'd have Russia being the head of the table of, most of the European nations. And then that leaves India. I'm not sure what happens to India. I think India would team up probably with China, because if the tariffs are real, they stay with the tariffs for a longer holdout, for a better deal, trade war, as the leftists would call it. China has so much shit to make, they need their people to work. The factories have to keep going. They have to export their shit somewhere. That's got to go to India then. It's right by them. Tons of Indians, tons of low income that need cheap shit. So I think China and India would probably yoke up. I don't really know in that scenario what would happen with all like the Muslim nations, the Middle East, Israel, and all that shit. I'm not really sure how that would work. But that seems like kind of where it's going. Canadian Club. I'm getting distracted by the chat talking about Canadian Club whiskey. I think that's the shit I drank once, and then I was puking and shitting at the same time. I was on the toilet and and into the tub, like getting squeezed in the middle. Get squeezed like a Go-Gurt, spewing out both ends. That shit fucked me up, man. That shit was nasty. Sorry. Vietnam flashback, sorry. But that's where I think it's going. And I do think it fits right in with, so I've been kind of studying a little bit recently about Dugan. Before I read this, there was an interesting Dugan 60 Minutes clip to kind of introduce you to him. I thought that was an interesting clip. It's short. You guys may have heard of Duganism. You may have seen the rise of Eastern Orthodoxy online and everything like that. And a lot of people attribute it to this guy's ideals. He writes a bunch of books and stuff. They call him the Putin Whisperer. This guy probably needs his whole own stream. There's so much you could say about this guy. I'm just going to touch on it briefly because I think it goes right with what's happening. Why am I doing getting caught in 4K doing the Illuminati symbol? I think his vision kind of goes with what it seems like is playing out on the world stage, multipolar world order. His vision seems to have Russia having a lot more power than I think is realistically possible. But of course, that's going to be his vision, right? I think in his idea, well, let me just play a clip, I guess. It's interesting that 60 Minutes
over time.
They have this clip with this guy And they admit they have an entire interview with him, but they never released it. I would love to see it.
Supporter of Putin. So I'm transmitting the will of our of conservative society, of Russian identity. I'm not formulating this individually.
Alexander Dugan is a Russian political philosopher who's been called the Putin whisperer. He's got Vladimir Putin's ear, and he's really influential in shaping Russian policy at the highest level.
You are known as Putin's Rasputin, and I've even seen Putin's brain. So he has listened to you in the past.
The base of this affirmation is precisely the correspondence between what Putin does and what I always say.
I'm Shahar Baran, and I produce for Leslie Stahl at 60 Minutes. In 2017, we shot an interview with Dugan as part of a story we were reporting about the Russian disinformation campaign after the 2016 presidential elections. We ended up not using the interview. Sometimes that happens when we interview more people than we can fit in the broadcast. But I never forgot the interview with Alexander Dugan, especially after Russia invaded Ukraine. In 1997, Dugan wrote a book called The Foundations of Geopolitics, which we've heard has been very influential in the Russian military. It may have even been taught in their academy. So I wondered what in his worldview might illuminate what Putin is doing now and his goal in this war right now in Ukraine.
So in 1997, you wrote a book called Foundations of Geopolitics. And in it, you talked about how Russia should return to being a global superpower. Talk about
Kind of looks like Talcott, doesn't he? Looks a little bit like him.
that. Explain that.
I always believed, and I believe in the future greatness of Russia, because Russia was always and tried to be a superpower. It's our dream, not to rule the world, but to be recognized as one center of decisions with others. So our dream is not unipolarity, Russian unipolarity. It is the dream of decent multipolarity, to be one pole among the other, not to be the unique pole. That is very important. And I
That's Paul. Yeah, the pole.
consider a return to the greatness or return to the status of superpower not as being the first power in the world, but one of the most important decision makers. And in order to do that,
Yeah, Ron Walker here has a good point. Whoops, I clicked the wrong one. Russian economy smaller than Italy's. The whole thing is a joke. Yeah, I think he has a grandiose vision of what Russia's actual role would be, but I do think there is a place for, or it does seem like that's where it's going. What kind of his vision is kind of like culturally unique places, just nationalism throughout the world, basically, with little sections sharing resources that are land connected sections that share resources and currency and economy and stuff like that.
I think that military power and weapon, including a nuclear weapon and the other kind of weapon, is not enough. We need to use diplomatic means, and more than that, we need a kind of spiritual sovereignty. We need to be free and liberated, not only physically, as a state, as a people, but as well revival of Russian logos, of Russian spirit, of Russian identity. That is much more important.
This Russian identity.
I remember that's from 2017. This is almost the same thing that you're saying with what they call the MAGA movement. So it's all about like nationalism, national pride, and as we'll get into, probably I would assume with the next one with EBT is all these prophecies have led to saying Donald Trump will become a praying president. I think you're going to see that. You're seeing America, like a revival in America, and being led into more Christianity by Donald Trump, actually. I think that's where it's going. And that's kind of the same thing this guy's talking about.
Identity is a key component of an ultranationalist ideology Dugan espouses called Eurasianism, because Russia is both part of Europe and Asia. Dugan thinks Russia should embrace this geopolitical uniqueness and dominate both spheres. Dugan has set Eurasianism in direct opposition to the West and to liberalism. In his 1997 book, Dugan wrote that for...
So I can see this happening because I can see like the commonality between the West and Russia of wanting to stomp out the liberal, and like there's more in common there, and you have to get rid of that enemy if you want to build the next thing. They're just gone, bro. They have to be stomped out. You can't have other countries interfering when you're trying to like stomp these people out for good. They have to go. However they do that, I'm not making any suggestions or anything of any types of ways, but it's a major problem.
For Russia to rebuild its power globally, it would need to use disinformation, destabilization, and annexation.
And another reason I think it would go this way, and just my opinion, is they're nationalistic countries, blocks of countries, landlocked countries, making decisions together, because if they're nationalistic, that's more likely to lead to wars in the longer term. It may be a short term of getting rid of, this woke liberalism and stuff like that. That may be the short term gain. That's good. But over a long period of time, people are it's going to be a lot of like butting heads with the different needs and wants and ideologies and everything like that. So instead of like a one world order, one world government, multipolar, which could lead to like constant, like permanent Cold Wars, basically.
He said one of the targets for Russian annexation should be Ukraine. In Dugan's mind, an independent Ukraine stands in the way of Russia becoming a transcontinental superpower. But that wasn't the only prescription Alexander Dugan had for Putin back then. Here's what he told us in 2017.
Let me ask you something else that you wrote about in your book.
I'm gonna let this play for a second. I gotta go piss. Go through this and a little bit more on this guy after this.
You proposed that Russia annex Ukraine. You said that Russia should encourage Britain to leave the EU, Brexit. You suggested that Russia make Iran an ally. Now, it does sound as if Mr. Putin is following your blueprint. All of these things, right out of your book, and he's doing it.
That was the same thing that they have said, introducing me in the Johns Hopkins Institution 20 years ago in Washington. So I agree there is a similarity. More than that, but I have developed in my vision, Eurasian vision, that is much more, that is larger than what you have mentioned. That is only first steps in order to.
But he followed your first steps. He followed exactly the first steps.
That's take too long. So he is in the absolute position of absolute power because we're living in a monarchist society from below. So that is not Putin who imposes on us monarchism or authoritarian rule. We demand from him to be much more authoritarian than he is. So he a little bit disappoints us because it takes too long.
But he did the first steps.
First step in the 17 years. So in the 17 years, you could change the globe, change the.
He listened to you, but he's going too slow. Okay.
Too slow, yes.
See a lot of similarities to that thought process and what's happening with MAGA too. They just want to like transform society overnight. Where's Tommy? I don't see Tommy. Somebody said hi, Tommy. I just want to get into a little more of that dude's. I don't know how big of a deal he really is over there. I think they hype it up a lot. But he definitely has some followers and stuff, right? And there could even be like state money behind it to kind of expand the church possibly. And that could be what you're seeing on YouTube. You see all this Eastern Orthodoxy and all the different channels and all the money that's funneled into these types of channels. That's just speculation, though. Dugan, Russian philosopher, political theorist, blah, blah. Some of his shit seems kind of half-baked to me, but I don't know. The ideas are fairly common sense, so they're solid. His ideas blend elements of traditionalism, nationalism, and a profound critique of Western liberal democracy, positioning him as a staunch advocate for a multipolar world order. Dugan's work draws heavily on the philosophical underpinnings of classical and modern theorists, ranging from Carl Schmitt to Martin Heidegger, adapting their concepts to the contemporary geopolitical landscape. One of the central elements of Dugan's ideology is his advocacy of the fourth political theory, which he presents as an alternative to liberalism, fascism, and communism, the dominant ideologies of the 20th century. This theory rejects the liberal notion of individualism. So if you remember when we were watching that lady that was kind of kooky, that's just now, that Jack Talcott lady, that's what she was talking about. She was like, they want to stomp out the individual. Well, I think it's a problem when you have thousands of different people having thousands of different visions of how they should live, and then everyone else has to put up with all this other stuff that they don't like or agree with and stuff. I think you need a more cohesive, everyone under the same umbrella type thing. That's what he's talking about here too, though. Sorry. This theory rejects the liberal notion of individualism and embraces a form of cultural and political particularism aimed at preserving distinct civilizational identities. Dugan's theories are underpinned by a stark division between sea powers, which he associates with mercantile, liberal, and maritime nations. And they call that what the thalassocracy, and land powers, which he connects with traditionalist, hierarchical, and continental states. The tellurocracy. Tellurocracy? I can't even say it. He argues that the historical conflict between these two types of civilizations is pivotal to understanding global conflicts and stresses the need for a coalition of land powers to challenge the dominance of Western sea powers. So basically, yeah, he's all against. He breaks it all down to like, yeah, right here, between land powers and sea powers. This distinction forms the bedrock of his theoretical approach to international relations and has a profound implications how global I cannot read right now, how global conflicts are interpreted and engaged. The tellurocracy or land power is characterized by Dugan as rooted in tradition, stability, and hierarchical struggles. These powers are typically continental, relying on land-based strategies for defense and expansion. Historically, Dugan views countries like Russia, China, and Iran as tellurocratic states. They prioritize control over vast territories, derive their strength from resources found within their landmass, and maintain a focus on preserving cultural and political sovereignty against external influences. Thalassocracy, on the other hand, is defined by maritime orientation. Sea powers such as the United States, the United Kingdom, and other NATO allies favor trade, globalization, and naval supremacy. These powers leverage their maritime capabilities to exert influence across continents, promoting open markets and liberal democratic values that Dugan argues are antithetical to the traditional values upheld by land powers. And so, yeah, he goes through the history. The Cold War is the Soviet Union, United States. They're trying to spread their ideology across the globe at the expense of the others. And in going back further, Dugan would cite British Empire's colonial pursuits, excuse me, which epitomize the thallocratic expansion, often clashing with land-based empires in Asia and Africa. In contrast, the spread of the Mongol Empire across Eurasia represents a telecratic expansion, relying on land-based military strategies and control over vast territories. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for contemporary policymakers, particularly in Russia. He argues that Russia, as a telecratic state, must consolidate its land-based power and align with other land powers to resist the encroachment of sea powers, which he claims seek to encircle and diminish Russia's influence in its traditional sphere of influence. So that could be part of the Ukraine war and the expansion of Russia into there. Implications for the global order. Dugan's geopolitical theories have significant implications for the future of global politics, particularly concerning the structure of international power dynamics. His predictions and recommendations for Russia's role in these dynamics are rooted in the vision of a transformation from unipolar to multipolar world order. He does not like the unipolar world order dominated by the United States since the collapse of the Soviet Union. He argues that this unipolarity, which aligns with thalassocracy, is inherently unstable and detrimental to the preservation of diverse cultural and political identities. According to Dugan, the future lies in a multipolar world where no single nation or coalition of nations can impose their will on others globally. It's wishful thinking, right? He envisions a new world order characterized by the emergence of several regional powers, each with its sphere of influence and international governance models. This multipolarity would allow for a more balanced global power distribution where conflicts are contained and managed through dialogue and mutual respect between civilizations, rather than through dominance and imposition of one universal model of governance. So each little clique will have their own little shared resources, economy, military, and possibly even like court system or way to settle disputes separate from these other countries and stuff, or these other poles, these other spheres of influence. Yeah, it says Dugan believes Russia, with its vast resources and strategic position spanning Europe and Asia, is uniquely positioned to challenge the maritime strategies of the US and NATO. And Trump's already talking about leaving NATO, right? Criticisms of it. It says his vision is seen as regressive by promoting a return to traditional values and rejection of liberal democracy, which critics say can undermine human rights and freedoms. And that's what it gets into, right? Is like the individualism, the right to say whatever you want, the freedom of speech and all that. Like even myself, I've been questioning, do people really have the right to, or should they? I say, should they have the right to just be able to say what they want? Which for years and years, for my whole life, I would say, yeah, they should. And now I'm kind of even questioning that idea, because when you allow these people to just say and do anything, basically, I mean, look at the results of the world, especially if you're my age or around in your 40s. You've seen the dramatic change of the world due to things like it's these people always pushing for more and more rights, right, and the ability to say whatever they want. It says certain nationalists, conservatives love him. It says his influence in Russia's political landscape are subjects of debate. Dugan's ideas are criticized for their simplistic dichotomy, regressive values, and potential to fuel authoritarian and imperialistic tendencies. His influence on actual policy is debated, with some viewing him as a significant ideologue, while others see him as one voice among many in Russian strategic thinking. It says his theories, while often polarizing, are undeniably influential in articulating a vision of the world that challenges the prevailing global order. He offers a stark reminder that ongoing debates about the nature of power, culture, identity in a rapidly changing world. Whether his envisioned future comes to pass or not, the issues he raises will likely to continue to influence discussions on global strategy and international relations for years to come. Let's get EBT to run the after party. But that's where I think it's going, and it aligns with Dugan's visions. I think it's going to a multipolar world order. You'll have maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 major players, and they'll have some kind of like a basically just the same, almost the same thing, but in a slightly different way of the like the United Nations, right? Let's say boil it down to like 6 different heads of the table in their own little land areas, and then every once in a while they'll come together and do their own little meeting of the minds for how they can coexist. And it would be just a new take on the old idea, but maybe at the expense of stomping out some of this liberalism and even democratic ideals, because the democracy becomes the tyranny of the majority. I think that could possibly be getting stomped out in our lifetime. Obviously not anytime soon, but these are things that will play out for a long time. You're gonna see. I was thinking about that today too. Is you'll see like kids that are born today, if kids born right now, and their mom and dad is like the age of my oldest kids, like phone junkies and shit. Like, I think those kids will grow up to rebel against being connected online all the time, because they'll say, "Well, our parents kind of halfway ignored us while they were sitting online or whatever, doom scrolling and shit all day." So I wonder if you'll see that like 20 years from now. So like 2045 or something, you'll see a mass exodus of people disconnecting from this type of thing, just as like a rebellion against their parents. It's kind of the natural order. It seems like the kids will always rebel against whatever their parents did. But we'll see. That's just something I was thinking about earlier. But anyway, I think I'm going to shut down. It's getting late for me. I'm fading out. But I appreciate everyone that was here, man. I got to click around. Maybe I can make a little clip here. If not, maybe I'll re-record something, because I got to use that clickbait cover, man. Somebody go holler at that girl on X before Jack Talcott does. I appreciate everyone that was here. If you're consider going to the Chalk Body Outline YouTube channel and becoming a member for 99 cents. YouTube's going to kick me back $5 for every person that joins at the 99-cent level until April 21st. So if you could do that, I would appreciate you. And I do appreciate you regardless. Like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. EBT's doing the after party. He says, yeah, he's doing it. Wait, he says he's going to bed. Sorry. Bro's getting old. He's going to bed on Saturday night. But I appreciate everyone's time, and peace out. Go to the doctor, man.